All joints on the meter are welded shut and the lock is made from solid steel. So there's no way to dismantle it. Okay. Aber hier, das ist doch gone! Oh, look at this bar of soap. There's a circular depression on this side. About 2 centimeters across, okay. Or 3/4 of an inch. Ah, do you think we did find the soap at the scene, didn't we? Yes. Yes, there were 2 bars on the little ledge just outside the window. So we took this one. But I'm sure that when we first found it, there was some sort of reddish medallion in the middle of there. I remember it clearly. Yes, but there's no sign of it now. Where could it have gone? The details of the bar of soap have been updated. There's a 2 centimeter diameter circular depression in the middle of the surface. Oh Mann, als ob man das jetzt nochmal untersuchen musste. Okay, da müssen wir jetzt irgendwie wieder zurück zu dem Statement mit den Münzen. Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've all given up before long. After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal actions. Yes, that makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruto? Is its welded steel construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspect of the meter's construction that we should be focusing on? Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different take here. Like asking about how meter differentiates coins, for example. Das machen wir dann. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in a 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is it through penny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. The meter tests coins apart by the shape and size, which includes their thickness. A through penny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see? Other coins just won't fit. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it is pertinent. Ja, okay. As you wish. Und hier präsentieren wir dann die Seife. Oh mein Gott.
Objection!
Let me just confirm something here. If the diameter and thickness were to be correct, the meter would accept any objects as if it were through penny bit. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Dann hat er sich die selber geforscht, hat er sich die Pennies quasi selber hergestellt. Well, by something of a coincidence, while we were investigating in Mr. Shamspeare's room, we found a particular item that matches the dimensions perfectly. Something the same size as a through penny bit. What was it? The item in question is this. What? Have you been inhaling gas? That's a bar of soap. It certainly looks nothing like a through penny bit, I must say. It looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the soap is this part here. Auf der Rückseite.
Got it!
You have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Ah! Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Or in other words, almost exactly the same size as a through penny bit. Get away! Does anyone here present have in their possession a through penny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. Oops. It sounds rather like a highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have here a through penny bit. Now, to see if it fits. My word, it couldn't be more snug. Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Element Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it. So, your assertion amounts to what? That some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a threepenny bit. I must concur at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap such as this is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You could make fake coins in no time. This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's a method Mr. Shamspeare has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense. If the man had been making fake coins, my worker here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont, in the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear. I see, that's what we are dealing with, is it? There's one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Oh, was war es nochmal? Es wurde schon mal erklärt. Exactly, and the meter here gives it away. What on earth? Beeswax, ja natürlich. There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. If that is your assertion, Counsel, the defense will identify these remnants of the code at once. Where on the marker meter can the remnants of the method used to make the fake coins disappear be seen? Ja, das ist eine gute Frage. Am Loch? Einfach? Oh, there's this little hole in the bottom of the meter here, isn't there? Looks as though it's what makes with someone. It does actually go all the way through to the inside, though it's hard to see it unless you look closely. In fact, it goes right into the part of the meter where the money ends up. I suppose it's nothing then. Oh, well, you couldn't possibly extract a coin through such a small hole, could you? No, I suppose not. But then the question remains, why would somebody go to the effort of making a hole there?
Got it!
We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Ach so, weil es draußen war. Natürlich. Natürlich, es war draußen. Und es ist Winter im Moment, deswegen. Outside. Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found the soap. Ah, I get it. That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamspeare has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening, filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in space. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. Aber das spricht Natsume ja nicht frei. Just like that, so simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water? That's right, madam. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless? I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence! Sorry? I want evidence. If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying you do actually have evidence to support the theory? I didn't notice a trace of something that bothered me a little while at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now could explain it. Ich habe keine Ahnung. The piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Mr. Shansky has been stealing gas is... No tearing on the inside of Mr. Natsuma's wing. Okay, da hat er die Butter liegen. Ist es tatsächlich vielleicht... Sind es Teegläser? Nee, kann ja nicht sein. Oh, da ist eine Pfütze. Ja moin.
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson, and it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamspeare. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Now, look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What is that? Some kind of grubby stain. Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out to the hole made in the meter. Ah! If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, you can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful. And there's further evidence too. Mr. Shamspeare slumbered over his table, apparently having consumed Switch 9. And right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right. It would appear to me then, counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but... certainly not. He didn't beat around the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shamspeare was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely. Increasingly likely, Lord Van Zieks. Do you mean to say he was using the fork to... Yes. To extract the frozen coin from the bar of soap. Ah! But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious! Lord Van Zieks. I was throwing my hand up in that despair, and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? Well... Das ist die Frage. That Mr. William Shamspeare is a liar and a thief. In other words, that this testimony is unreliable. That's it. That's exactly it. Very well. Let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does it make? Well, we know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. Even if William Shamspeare is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Ah! Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. What? Ich meine, recht hat er, ne? Bewiesen hat letztendlich nichts, was für unseren Fall relevant ist. Order! Well, counsel. How does the defense respond? Mr. Naruhodo, what was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord van Zieks is saying? Raise an objection. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shamspeare to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord van Zieks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point, but contrary to what he would have the crowd believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption, made due to the lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the latest witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we now need to reconsider, namely... Gute Frage. Was there another visitor? Ich hab keine Ahnung. Was the poison in the tea? We've all been led to believe that the strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume, but that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There's no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of the poison.
Objection!
As I said, the situation has changed. Because in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they miss? The defense has made a bold claim indeed. Warte, was? Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? Bar of soap?
Take that!
Weil das dann da reingefüllt hat, oder was? Good gracious! The soap again. The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice. Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. It's more bars of soap. Soap? What are bars of soap doing lined up on a ledge outside the window? I'm quite certain that when we originally stumbled upon the bars of soap, there was actually a frozen coin in each bar. So you discovered the gas thief's coin factory. Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins we found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. There was something strange about them, you mean? Oh, natürlich, ja, die hatten ja so eine Teefarbe. Exactly, something very obviously strange. They were wet. The ice was wet. No, you mean... That's right, it's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. What?! I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I did take some freshly brewed tea with me when I visited Mr. Shamspeare's room as a gift. The public water pump outside always freezes at night, so I bought bottled water especially to make it. Natürlich! Oh Mann, die Pumpe ist ja gefroren. Natürlich. And this is the result. Never will I touch tea again. Never. Ah yes, I believe there had been a snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing. Was hatten wir nochmal behauptet? Some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene, okay. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East Ends are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shamspeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. My word! There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed one of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime. Frozen solid in a bar of soap, outside Mr. Shamspeare's window. Extraordinary! Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even one drop of the tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contains strychnine at all. Ah! You smug Nipponese! Okay. Dann ist es ja nice, dass wir noch Tee übrig haben. My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once. And the defense requires a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once. Yes, my lord, understood! It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. Als ob! Das ist dann das erste Mal in The Great Ace Attorney, zumindest nicht in Ace Attorney, wir hatten das schon häufig, aber in Ace Attorney, dass wir tatsächlich 2 oder vielleicht sogar 3 Gerichtsverhandlungen haben. Also, dass wir auf jeden Fall eine zweite Investigation kriegen. Okay, cool. Hatten wir im ersten Spiel komplett nicht. Da hieß es immer Investigation, Trial, Ende der Episode. Oder halt Investigation in der Episode oder Trial Ende der Episode. Aber nie, dass wir das so hatten. Okay, finde ich cool. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zieks. None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. Yes, my lord. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, Countess. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. To be continued. Ja, nice. Nice. Ich würde sagen, dann war es auch erstmal von dieser Aufnahmesession. Interesting. Dann haben wir also herausgefunden, dass der Shamsby ein kleiner Scammer ist und den Tee benutzt hat, um seine Coins da zu machen für seine Heizung. Okay, dann speichern wir und ich bedanke mich fürs Zuschauen. Ich bedanke mich fürs Dabeisein und wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Tschüss und so und Einspruch.